Good morning to everyone. Introduce myself. My name is Amina B, guest faculty in Botany, Tribal Welfare Residential Degree College, Damapet at Talikella. Today we will discuss about reproduction in angiosperms. Generally, plant kingdom divided into several types: Halophyta, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, Gymnosperms and Angiosperms. Here, angiosperms are very advanced characters to their floral characters and also vegetative and fertilization. All the characters are the advanced characters. Angiosperms are the largest groups of plants in the plant kingdom. They occupy greater space on Earth presently. Angiosperms are two alternative generations in their life cycle. So first one is the diploid generation or sporophytic generation. Second one is haploid generation or gametophytic generation. So angiosperms are two alternative generations in their life cycle. Haploid generation, second one is diploid generation. So haploid generation also known as gametophytic generation and diploid generation also known as sporophytic generation. So here the flower is the reproductive unit in angiosperms. When we observe the one angiosperms flowers TS transverse section, we can observe in these parts. A typical plant has four different kinds of whorls. So first one is calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. So these four whorls are arranged on the thalamus of the flower. So here calyx and corolla also known as accessory organs, and androecium and gynoecium also known as reproductive organs. Here reproductive organs means androecium and gynoecium. Accessory organs means calyx and corolla. So these calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium are the four whorls in angiospermic flower. So here, so imperfect flower. So imperfect flower means a flower that either all male parts or female parts, ovary or stamens. So which flower consists of stamens or ovary? That type of flower is called imperfect flower. For example, cucumber, pumpkin and watermelon. Second one is perfect flower. So perfect flower means a flower that has both male and female parts. So the flower has consists of ovary and also stamens. So this type of flower is called perfect flower. For example, roses, lilies and dandelions. So these are the two types of flowers. So imperfect of flowers means they consist of either male parts or either all female plants. So these are the imperfect and perfect types of the flower. When, for example, first of all, we will discuss about calyx. So calyx are the outermost whole of the flower. Okay, calyx are the outermost whole of the flower, and the members are called calyx sepals. So calyx is one of the outermost whorl of the flower, and the members are called sepals. Sepals are generally in green color or leaf-like and protect the flowers in the bud stage. So second whorl name is corolla. So corolla composed of petals are called corolla. So corolla usually brightly colored to attract for pollination. So this is the about corolla. Second one is androecium. So composed of stamens are called androecium. So androecium also male reproductive organ. So here each stamen which presents the male reproductive organ consists of stalk and anther. Here androecium each stamen which presents the male reproductive organ, it consists of long filamentous like structure, stalk or filament. Second one is anther. So here these two parts are consist of stamens structure. So each anther is bilobed. So each lobe has two chambers. So the pollen sacs are present. So pollen grains are produced in pollen sacs. Next, fourth role name is gynoecium. So gynoecium is the female reproductive part of the flower. So it is made up of one or more carpels. So carpel consists of three parts: stigma, style, ovary. So in carpel they have three parts are consisted: stigma, style and ovary. So here gynoecium is the female reproductive part. So it is made up of one or more carpels. So gynoecium involves sexual reproduction, involves formation of the male and female gametes. So here sexual reproduction involves formation of the male and female gametes. So here when we observe the angiosperm sexual reproduction, so there are three stages we can observe. First one is pre-fertilization phase, second one is fertilization phase, and third one is post-fertilization phase. So these are the three stages you can observe in angiosperm's life cycle. So when we observe the anther structure, so in anther structure there are in stamen structure there are two parts we can observe. So first one is anther and filament. Here shows two parts are typical stamen. Here there are two types of typical stamen. So long and slender like structure is called filament, and terminal generally pilot structure is called anther. So anther is called as the microsporangium. So macrosporangium usually contains two lobes. So it is called dithecous anther. So the anther which consists of two lobes, that type of anther is called dithecous. In dithecous anthers, 4 microsporangia or pollen sacs are present. So in dithecous anthers, they consist of 4 microsporangia or pollen sacs are present in their structure. But at maturity of the anther, 2 microsporangia on each side fuse to form a single sac-like structure. So this is about structure of the stamen. Next, development of the anther. So here, development of the anther. So anther wall development. So young anther is almost oval in shape. It is composed of a homogeneous mass of meristematic cells, so surrounded by the epidermis. So in each lobe, a few hypodermal cells become large size, dense cytoplasm and prominent nuclei. So these cells form the archisporium. So these cells are formed the archisporium. So archisporial cells enlarge radially and divide periclinally, resulting into outer primary parasital cells and inner primary sporogenous cells. Here. So the primary parietal cells undergo separate periclinal divisions and anticlinal divisions, giving rise to 3 to 5 concentric layers. So they form anther wall. Second one is the primary sporogenous cells. The primary sporogenous cells may directly function as microspore mother cell. This is also called MMC. Or the primary sporogenous cells undergo mitotic divisions and they function as microspore mother cell. So MMC means microspore mother cell. Here is the development of the anther. Next one is structure of the anther. So structure of the anther wall. So the mature anther wall is made up of 4 layers. So they are consist of 4 layers. These are epidermis, endothecium and middle layers tapetum. So these 4 layers are consist of the anther wall. Here epidermis and endothecium, middle layers and tapetum. So first of all we will discuss about epidermis. So this is epidermis. So epidermis. Epidermis is the outermost layer of the anther wall. So this is made up of elongated and flattened cells. So they perform its usual protective function. So epidermis is the outermost layer. Epidermis is made up of elongated and flattened cells. So epidermis perform its usual protective function. So they protect the anther. But in gymnosperms, epidermis develop fibrous bands and this is known as exothecium. But in gymnosperms, epidermis develop. So developed with the fibrous bands. So these fibrous bands is also known as exothecium. So this is about exothecium. Next, in second layer is endothecium. So anther wall is consist of 4 layers: epidermis, endothecium, middle layers, and tapetum. So second one is endothecium. Endothecium. So endothecium is the subepidermal here, endothecium. So endothecium is the subepidermal layer of the anther wall. So it is the single layered. But sometimes it may be several layers. For example, capsicum and datura. So capsicum in datura endothecium consists of several layers or multi layers. But generally endothecium consists of only single layer. So endothecium is the subepidermal layer of the anther wall. So this is the second layer about endothecium. Next, third one is middle layer. Here, middle layer. So in middle layer, 2 to 3 layers of the parenchyma cells are present. In middle layer, 2 to 3 layers of parenchyma cells are present. So they are known as middle layers. So they lie in between the endothecium and tapetum. So the middle layers may store food materials in some taxa. So it is replaced by pollen mother cells. So middle layers main function is to store the food materials. So these food materials are used by pollen mother cells. So middle layers, the cells of these layer are ephemerals and degenerate almost completely before the pollen mother cells undergo meiosis. So it is the middle layer. So middle layer, 2 to 3 layers of parenchyma cells are present. So in middle layer, the cells are belongs to parenchyma type. So this is also known as middle layers as they lie in between endothecium and tapetum. So middle layer are lie in between the endothecium and tapetum. So the cells of these layers are ephemerals and degenerate. So fourth one is tapetum. So tapetum. So fourth layer is also are called tapetum. So it is the innermost layer of anther wall. It surrounds the sporogenous tissue. So tapetum surrounds the sporogenous tissue. So maximum development when the microspores are in tetrad stage after they collapse. So in tapetum. So tapetum surrounds the sporogenous tissue. So maximum development when the microspores are in tetrad stage. So after the tapetum collapse. So tapetum generally it is single layer, but in tecoma and pyrostisia they consist of biseriate. Generally tapetum single layer, but the pyrostisia and tecoma they consist of biseriate, means 2 layered tapetum are consist in that stamens. So these are about the tapetum. So next one, but in tapetum, so in tapetum they have tapetum in cells they have dense cytoplasm and nucleus. So that the cells of the tapetum are relatively large and extended. So next one, types of the tapetum. So types of the tapetum. So there are 2 types of tapetum are seen in angiosperms. In angiosperms there are 2 types of angiosperms are present. Amoeboid tapetum, second one is secretory tapetum. So in tapetum there are 2 types of tapetums are present, amoeboid tapetum and secretory tapetum. So amoeboid tapetum. Amoeboid tapetum also known as plasmodial tapetum. So amoeboid tapetum also known as plasmodial tapetum. The inner and radial walls of the tapetal cells are broken down So early, so due to the action of hydrolytic enzymes. So hydrolytic enzymes are break down the inner and radial walls of the tapetal cells. So hydrolytic enzymes to break down the inner and radial walls of the tapetum, and the protoplast of these cells are enter into anther locules and fuses to form a common mass. So that is called periplasmodium. Here hydrolytic enzymes are break down the inner and radial walls of the tapetal cells. When they broke down, the protoplast of these cells enter into the anther locule and the enterocytes and the fuses to form a common mass called periplasmodium. So this mass, so when broke down and enter the protoplast, these mass surroundings of pollen grains till they mature and provides them. So here in amoeboid tapetum, hydrolytic enzymes are to break down the cells, radial or tapetum cells, and the mass are surrounded by the pollen grains. So the cells of, so it is the amoeboid tapetum. So in amoeboid tapetum we can observe some monocots and some lower dicots. Dicots, for example, Elisma and Typha. So amoeboid tapetum are found in monocots and some lower dicots, for example, Elisma and Typha. So these are the amoeboid tapetum. So second one is secretory tapetum. So secretory tapetum or glandular tapetum. So glandular tapetum, also known as secretory tapetum. So tapetal cells are very thin and possess almost all cell organelles. So some spherical structures called pro-ubis bodies. So pro-ubis bodies also present in these cells. So with the completion of the pollen development, pro-ubis bodies pass into the anther locule from the tapetal cells. So here secretory tapetum, so glandular tapetum also known as secretory tapetum. So the tapetal cells are very thin. So these cells are very thin. So they consist of almost cell organelles. So in secretory tapetum, some spherical structures are called. So that is called pro-ubis bodies. So pro-ubis bodies present in these cells. With completion of the pollen development, pro-ubis bodies pass into the anther locule from the tapetal cells. So here they are coated with sporopollenin. So here in secretory tapetum they are coated into sporopollenin. So these type of secretory tapetum found in most of the angiosperms. So this is the two types of the tapetum. So first one is amoeboid tapetum, second one is secretory tapetum. In these two types of tapetum, secretory tapetum is found in most of the angiosperms, but in amoeboid tapetum found in monocots and some lower dicots. So lower dicots, for example, Elisma and Typha. So next we will discuss about the functions of the tapetum. Functions of the tapetum. So tapetum plays an important role in the development of microspores. So also tapetum also helps in the transport of food materials to the inside of the anther. So they secrete the enzymes callose. So functions of the tapetum, first one is the, so they transport of food materials, so they secrete the enzyme callose. So tapetum plays an important role in the development of the microspores. So this is the functions of the tapetum. So tapetum are divided into two types, amoeboid tapetum and secretory tapetum. So next one is microsporogenesis. So microsporogenesis. Microsporogenesis means, so microspores are developed from the sporogenous tissue. So here microspores are developed from sporogenous tissue. So the primary sporogenous cells undergo several mitotic divisions to form microsporo mother cells. So each microsporo mother cells undergoes in meiosis and form 4 haploid microspores. So these process of formation of the microspores from sporogenous tissue is known as microsporogenesis. The formation of microspores is called microsporogenesis, and that of megaspores is formed. That type of process is called megasporogenesis. So this is the process of microsporogenesis. Though here microspores are developed from sporogenous tissue only. So the primary sporogenous cells are undergo mitotic divisions and form microspore mother cells. Here microspore mother cells again undergoes meiosis divisions and form 4 haploid microspores. So the process of the formation of microspores from sporogenous tissue. So here microspores are formed sporogenous tissue. This process is known as microsporogenesis. So this is the microsporogenesis. Here, so this is the microsporogenesis. Here what microspores are developed from the microspore tissues. So here they undergoes meiotic divisions and mitotic divisions. 4 haploid cells are formed. So next one is cytokinesis. So during meiotic divisions, the microspore mother cell, the wall formation takes place in 2 ways. That one successive type and simultaneous type. So in cytokinesis here during meiotic divisions. So during the meiotic divisions of microspore mother cell, the wall formation may takes place 2 ways. So that one is, first one is the successive type, second one is the simultaneous type. Here successive type. In successive type, here this is the first one is the successive type. So here in this type of wall formation, so a cell plate is laid between 2 daughter nuclei after meiosis 1. So in successive type, so these are 2 types. First one is the successive type. So in successive type, in this type of wall formation, a cell plate is laid between 2 daughter nuclei after meiosis 1. So this wall gradually extends. So when form the wall, so this wall gradually extends. So towards the dividing the cell into 2 equal halves. In successive type, the wall gradually extends towards the dividing the cell into 2 equal halves. So in successive type, so 2 equal parts are divided into cell. So each cell of the dyad form, so now it is undergoes to meiosis 2. So in meiosis 1 they are formed 2 equal types of the cells. When each cell of the dyad so formed, and next this dyad undergoes to meiosis 2. So this dyad again undergoes to meiosis 2. So meiosis 2, after meiosis, this results in the formation of the isobilateral tetrad. So for example, successive type example is monocots. So monocots, for example, Giamese. So this is the successive type. Next one is the simultaneous type. So simultaneous type, here there is no wall formation. So in simultaneous type, here there is no wall formation after meiosis 1. So a binucleate cell is formed after meiosis. After meiosis, a binucleate cell is formed. So 2 daughter nuclei undergo second meiotic division. So first one is meiotic 1, but in simultaneous type there is no wall formation. But after meiosis, so after meiosis there is no wall formation. A binucleate cell is formed after meiosis 1. 2 daughter nuclei undergo second meiotic 2. So at this stage, 4 daughter nuclei lie in the cytoplasm. So in simultaneous type, 4 daughter nuclei lie in the cytoplasm. So wall formation begins and the cytoplasm into 4 haploid microspores. So for example, magnolia. So in this type we observe in magnolia in simultaneous type. So in simultaneous type, wall formation begins and divide the cytoplasm into 4 haploid microspores. So this is the two types simultaneous type and successive type. Next one is pollen tetrad. So next one is pollen tetrad stage. So pollen tetrad, the 4 microspores formed from a microspore mother cells. So they are usually arranged in tetrahedral or isobilateral tetrads. So when formation of the 4 microspores from microspore mother cells. So these 4 microspores are usually arranged in tetrahedral or isobilateral tetrads. In tetrahedral tetrads, which are formed as a result of simultaneous division. So the 4 corners of the tetrahedral. Here the tetrahedral tetrads are formed the result of the simultaneous division. When we seen from one angle, only 3 microspores are visible and the 4th one is lie at back. When in tetrads we can visible only 3 microspores, but 4th one is lies at back. In isobilateral tetrads, which are formed by successive division. So in isobilateral tetrads, which are formed in successive division. So the 4 microspores are arranged in one plane in 2 ties of 2 each. So isobilateral tetrads are formed by successive division and tetrahedral tetrads are formed as the simultaneous division. In successive division of the isobilateral tetrads, the microspores of a tetrad usually separate from each other as the anther matures. But sometimes the tetrads struck together in groups to form compound pollen grains. Here, but in sometimes, so there are no formation of the tetrahedral and isobilateral tetrads, but in sometimes the tetrad struck together in group to form the compound pollen grains. So the compound micrograms may contain 16 or 32 or 64 microspores. For example, compound pollen grains are we can observe Rimis, Annona and Acacia. So compound pollen grains are formed when the struck of the tetrads together and they form a compound pollen grains. So in compound pollen grains they contain 16, 32, 64 or 16 or 32 or 64 microspores are consist in compound pollen grains structure. So this is the example of the Rimis, Annona and Acacia. So in Rimis, Annona and Acacia we can observe the compound pollen grains. So the compound pollen grains may contain 16 pollen grains or 32 pollen grains or 64 pollen grains. So this is the arrangement of the pollen grains. Next one is, so here the picture in Asclepiadaceae, all the pollen in a pollen sac are united in a single compact mass. It is known as pollinium. So the pollinia are also formed in Orchidaceae. But in certain members of this family, the pollinium is less compact as it comprises smaller groups of the pollen grains. So such loss groups are termed as musculae. So here, especially in Asclepiadaceae family, the pollen sacs are united in a single compact. So that is, the mass is known as pollinium. So pollinia are also formed in Orchidaceae. So here pollinia formed in Asclepiadaceae and also Orchidaceae. Next one is dehiscence of the anther. Dehiscence of anther. So at maturity, the endothelial cells developed fibrous thickenings, so all around the anther locule except along the line of dehiscence. So this region was contracted by So these region which are characterized by the presence of the thin walled cells is called stomium. So in stomium the cells are break down and to produce the pollen grains, and they spread surroundings, all the surroundings. So this is the dehiscence of the anther. So in dehiscence of the anther, the middle layers and tapetum are disappeared. So the middle layers and tapetum are disappear, and the sporogenal wall now consists of epidermis and endothecium. So now the anther wall loses water. So the anther wall loses water, and as a result of this, so all the dehiscence of the anther. So the dehiscence slit may be longitudinal or lateral depending upon the position of the stomium cells. So totally the dehiscence of the anther depending upon the position of the stomium. So here in dehiscence of the anther, the middle layers and tapetum are disappeared. So and the sporogenal walls now consist of only epidermis and endothecium only. Why? Because middle layers and tapetum are disappeared. So now the anther wall lost water. So when middle layers and tapetums are disappeared, only consist of epidermis and endothecium. So now the anther wall lost water, and they break down and to spread the pollen grains. So next one is male gametophytes or pollen grain. Male gametophyte or pollen grain. So the microspore is the mother cell of the male gametophyte. So the microspore also known as pollen grain. So microspore is the mother cell of the male gametophyte. So during gametogenesis, the nucleus of pollen grain divided into a small lenticular generative cell and a large vegetative cell here. So the pollen grain is the mother cell of the male gametophyte. So during gametogenesis, the nucleus of the pollen grain divides into a small lenticular generative cell and a large vegetative cell. So the generative cell again divides and forms two male gametes. So here generative cells and large vegetative cells are consistent in their structure, but the generative cell again divided, not in vegetative cell. The generative cell again divided and forms two male gametes. When so here this is the structure of the pollen grain. Next one is structure of the pollen grain. So the mature pollen grain is surrounded by a wall defined. So here structure of the pollen grain. So structure of the pollen grain, here the mature pollen grain is surrounded by a wall, defined wall. So there are two layers they consist of two layers. Pollen grain consists of two layers, outer exine and inner intine. So the exine consists of the exine first appears as the thin layer, so it can be differentiated into two layers. So the sexine and the nexine here. So pollen grain consists of two layers. Outer layer is called exine, inner layer is called intine. So the exine is the first appears as the thin layer. So the exine can be differentiated into two layers, the sexine and the nexine. In sexine, again they are differentiated into basal foot layer and middle vacuola and upper tectum. So first of all, pollen grain contains two layers, outer layer and inner layer. Outer layer also known as exine, inner layer also known as intine. So exine is the very thin layer. So again exine differentiated into two layers, the sexine and the nexine. So in sexine, sexine again differentiated into basal foot layer, middle vacuola and upper tectum. So this is the differentiated to sex sign. Next, the bacula in bacula. So the bacula which consists of radially elongated rods. So next one is the exine. So exine is chiefly composed of sporopollenin. So exine is composed of the sporopollenin. So exine is a tough substances. Sporopollenin is a tough substances and to provide resistance to physical and biological decomposition of the pollen wall. So the exine is provided with small apparatus or pores. The apparatus is associated with a germination of the pollen grain. So this is about the pollen grain, structure of the pollen grain. Here, so through the apparatus apertures, the intern comes out and forms a pollen tube. So freshly formed microspores is rich in cytoplasm. So freshly formed microspores are rich in cytoplasm and centrally placed nucleus. So dictyosomes and mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum are present in the cytoplasm. So in pollen grain cytoplasm contains dictyosomes, mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum are present in their cytoplasmic structures. So in freshly formed microscopes is rich in cytoplasm and centrally placed nucleus. This is the about pollen grains structures. So this is the exine and intine. So this is the structures of the pollen grain. So development of the male gametophyte. So the first mitotic division in a pollen grain result in two unequal cells. Here the development of the male gametophyte. The first mitotic division in a pollen grain result into two unequal cells. The larger one is called vegetative cell. The smaller one is called the generative cell. So first of all we will discuss about the vegetative cell. So here development of male gametophytes. So in development of male gametophytes, the first mitotic division in a pollen grain results in two unequal cells. So they are formed in two unequal cells. So in these two unequal cells, the larger one is called vegetative cell and the smaller one is called generative cell. Here vegetative cell. So vegetative cells, the nucleus of the vegetative cell is spherical. So in vegetative cells, nucleus is the spherical or irregular in outline. So they are within chromatin or it contains also thin chromatin. So vegetative cells, the nucleus of the vegetative cell is spherical or irregular in nature. So they contains also thin chromatin. So vegetative cells has one or two nucleoli. So the vegetative cell has one or two nucleoli. The cytoplasm of the vegetative cell contains ribosomes. So much endoplasmic reticulum, plastids and mitochondria, fats and starch grains. So the cytoplasm of the vegetable contains ribosomes and endoplasmic reticulum, plastids and mitochondria, fats and starch grains. So RNA is present in lesser quantity. In vegetative cells, RNA is present in lesser quantity. So this is about vegetative cell. Next one is the generative cell. In generative cell. So in generative cell, the generative cell is surrounded by a wall. So generative cell, there is no cytoplasmic connection between the vegetative cell and the generative cell. So the cytoplasm is relatively dense and contains usually cell organelles. But in some species like Enothera, the generative cell contains plastids. So once again I will discuss about generative cell. So the generative cell is surrounded by the wall. So there is no generative cell. The generative cell is no cytoplasmic connections between the vegetative cell and generative cell. So the cytoplasm is relatively dense. So in generative cell, the cytoplasm is relatively dense and they contains usually cell organelles. So generative cell also contains cell organelles like ribosomes, endoplasmic reticulums and also some Golgi complexes extra. So, but in some species like Enothera, so in Enothera, the generative cell contains plastids. So, this is the special character. So, this is about the vegetative cell and generative cell. So, next step is the formation of male gametes. Formation of the male gametes. So, here, formation of the male gametes. So, the male gametes are formed by mitotic divisions of the generative cell. So, the division usually occurs before the pollen it is shed from the anther. For example, beta. So, pollen grains are shed at the two cell stage. So, the generative cell may be divided after the pollen have reached the stigma. So, the mitotic division of the generative cell results in the formation of the two non-motile male gametes. So, here in formation of the male gametes. So, in formation of the male gametes are formed by mitotic division of the mitotic divisions of the generative cell. So, the generative cell are go into mitotic cell division. So, that division only occurs before the pollen shed from the anther, for example, beta. So, the pollen grains are shed at the two cell stage. So, the generative cell may be divided after the pollen have reached the stigma. So, mitotic divisions of the generative cell results in the formation of two non-motile male gametes. So, this is the formation of the gametes. Next one. So, each male gamete consists of a large nucleus. So, this is surrounded by a thin sheath of the cytoplasm. So, cell wall is absent in these pollen grains. So, this is about the formation of the male gametes. So, this is the. So, next one is the abnormal features of the pollen grain. So, abnormal features of the pollen grain. Abnormal features of the pollen grains. So, pollen grains are developed, for example, in Cyperaceae. So, in microspores mother cell divides mitotically, they form two haploid nuclei. So, only one remains functional. So, while the rest three nuclei are separated from the functional nucleus by a wall. In functional nucleus divided into form vegetative cell and generative cell, but non-functional nuclei degenerate. So, abnormal features of the pollen grain we can observe in Cyperaceae family. So, in Cyperaceae, in microspores mother cell divides. So, microspore mother cell divides meiotically and they form four haploid nuclei, but only one remains functional. They form four nuclei, but only one remains functional, while the rest three nuclei are separated from the functional nucleus by a wall. So, functional nucleus divides. So, again functional nucleus divides to form a vegetative cell and generative cell. So, non-functional nuclei degenerated and they collapse. So, next second one is the pollen grain embryo sacs. So, pollen grain embryo sacs. It was first reported by Nemec in the anthers of the hyacinth. So, embryo sacs may arise from the divisions of the vegetative nucleus or they directly from the microspore mother cells. So, this phenomena is known as the Nemec phenomena. So, these two are the abnormal features of the pollen grain in Cyperaceae and also Hyacinthus. So, here when formed the male gametes, they are in two male cells are present in the male gametes. So, next when we discuss about the female gametophyte, the two ovules, one egg cell is produced, and here the pollination occurs. So, the pollination through insects or wind or anything in else. The pollination occurs when the pollen grains reach the stigma. When the pollen grains are they are germinated and they reach the ovary, and when they come to the ovary and they